Some first-time cruisers almost ruin their entire vacation in the first 2 hours after they get to the port, and most of them don't even realize they made a mistake. Because Embarkation Day is where your entire cruise starts to go right or wrong. There's a system to it, and if you don't understand it, you lose time fast. The first tip that you need to know, you need to fly in the day before the cruise. This is one of the biggest mistakes that first-time cruisers make, and it can completely ruin your cruise with one delayed flight or traffic jam on Embarkation Day. Tip number 2 is do your online check-in as soon as you can. Early bird gets the worm, and it rings true for cruising as well. Those that do that check-in early will get the best boarding times. You'll be able to be on the ship by 11 o'clock, avoid the crowds, make your specialty dining reservations, and sit and relax while the rest of the crowd boards at a later time. Most first-time cruisers don't realize this, but tip number 3, download your cruise app before you leave home. This is going to have your boarding passes, your ship maps, and this is where you're going to see all your daily activities as well. And the Wi-Fi on the ship until you set sail isn't always the best, so make sure to download this prior to Embarkation Day. These Embarkation Day tips are really important, but I do actually have a full playlist, First Time Cruiser Academy. I'll link it in the description. It's going to help you with a lot of things other than just Embarkation Day, so check it out. This is a tip where most first-time cruisers get confused or surprised. So tip number 4 is making sure you have a carry-on bag with all your necessities because you're not going to get your luggage until later in the afternoon on Embarkation Day. Make sure you pack your passport, your medications, electronics, cell phone chargers, and also if you're a wine drinker, most cruise lines will allow you to pack 1 bottle of wine per passenger in your carry-on bag as well. The next tip we're going to talk about is arrive early at the port, but do this strategically. Your boarding time is not a suggestion, but it's also not really a restriction. The worst case scenario, if you arrive early, you may have to sit comfortably at the port for a couple of hours, but you do run the chance of getting on the ship early as well. Now, when you finally get to the port, this is where it gets a little bit chaotic. You will go through security, kind of like the same as an airport, and then you'll go to the check-in counter. Now, there is a priority access line that you can pay for, or you get this from being a certain tier on a certain cruise line. I'll link a video in the description that talks about Norwegian's priority boarding. Make sure you have your boarding pass and your passport at the ready because nothing makes people more upset than looking at someone at the check-in counter digging for those important documents. After you're checked in at the check-in counter, usually you'll sit down in the comfortable chairs for a little bit. They usually start to board most ships between 10:30 and 11, depending on the cruise port. And once you get on board, you will be able to start your vacation. But there are a few things you need to do before you can start having that first drink. First is your muster drill. You need to go to your muster station, which is where you will show up if there is an emergency on board. You will scan your cruise card, and then this is done. This is a requirement. The ship cannot leave the port until everybody on board checks in at their muster station. And here's where Embarkation Day really changes everything, and most first-time cruisers miss what I'm about to tell you. Book your specialty dining immediately after the muster drill. This is one of the biggest advantages of getting on board early because, honestly, once all the crowd gets on, the good restaurants and times will book up extremely fast. Usually you can go to a specialty dining restaurant to make these reservations, or sometimes they will set up in the theaters to make reservations for specialty dining. But do this as soon as you're done your muster drill. Next is skip the obvious lunch choice. Don't go right to the buffet. Everybody's going to the buffet. Check out a casual dining or go to the main dining room because a lot of people don't realize this. It's quieter, it has good food, and it's a lot less chaotic. Now, this is something I do as an experienced cruiser. I follow my own advice and I do get on the ship as early as possible. And this is your golden hour on board. Go explore the ship. Find those quiet areas. Check out the pool decks. If you're like me, take some footage and take some pictures of around the ship before the crowds hit. Because after the crowds hit, it's going to be chaos and you're not going to be able to get those calm, beautiful pictures that you can the first couple hours on board. This next tip actually caused me some grief on my last cruise. It's getting the Wi-Fi set up. Make sure you do this as soon as you get on board, after you've done your muster and done your specialty dining reservations, of course. Your Wi-Fi is required to run your cruise app, and this is where you're going to get your daily schedules, your deck plans, you'll see your dining reservations and your show times. So it's important to have this functioning one of the first things when you get on board the ship. This is one of the biggest mindset problems that first-time cruisers have, is you think that you have to do everything the first day you get on board the ship. Embarkation Day is not your day to do everything and see everything. It's crowded, it's chaotic, there's a lot going on. You need to do your main 3 things, your muster drill, your dining, and get your Wi-Fi working. My advice for Embarkation Day is enjoy sail away. This is something that only happens once on a cruise. You have your sail away party every evening when you leave the port. It's something that you need to experience. Your shows and dining and theme nights and even your game shows will be frequently played throughout the cruise. So here's the easy version. Fly in the day early, check in early, get your reservations done, explore the ship before the crowd, skip the buffet and go to the casual dining meals. This is what you need to know for Embarkation Day. You need to follow the strategic plan in order to enjoy it to the fullest. If you're going on your first cruise soon, check out my playlist, First Time Cruiser Academy. It's got lots of cruise tips and tricks that will help you out for your next cruise vacation. I'm Ashley Neal. I'll see you next time.